We're all going to talk about how to get paid, and everyone's interested in money. So, as you see, I've already logged into my Clackamas, and you're going to simply hit your employee information. And if you filled out all your HR paperwork, there should be a time entry for you. So when I hit the time entry, what you're going to see on mine is I actually have two, which I'm happy to show you how you could potentially, some of you, get confused about what to fill out. So if you have been a math tutor and you have worked for the college part-time in another capacity, maybe you work with IT or another department, and you also were a technology tutor, you're going to have 3 different time cards, and your challenge is going to make sure that you put the right time on the right time card. So the good news is most of you are just simply going to have one, and that's it. The difference in these is that how the taxes are being pulled out, at what rate they're pulling out, varies. We require you to be enrolled for at least 6 credits because at that point the taxes are different, and it makes a big difference with your payroll. We definitely do not want you to submit the wrong information and then have to wait, and everyone goes through and makes changes all for a couple dollars. But we would be obligated to do that. So you'll notice I have two right here. You'll also notice that I have a supervisor's name. Now the supervisor name is going to be the person that sanctions that time card and has the authority to release it to HR. So it's not going to be the co-coordinator's name. My students are not going to see my name there. Instead, they see Sharon Parker, who is the department head and is the person that I send your hours to, and she receives each of your time cards, and basically, in my case, she pays you what I say you should be paid and not necessarily what you've sent. So each of the co-coordinators will have a process as to how they double check that the time you're sending in is correct, and you'll all be instructed on that. But let's just open a time card. So I just click on it and I hit submit. And up comes, of course, all my leaves because I'm full-time. So I have some, oh, it wants this. No, restart later. Okay, so you're going to put your hours worked in. It's real simple to add them. Once you have them added in the appropriate days, you go down to the bottom and you're going to have to click this box when you're ready to send it out. So some of you might find that during the month you're adding in your hours and you don't want to submit it to your supervisor. And that's the only confusing thing about this, because when I press the submit button, it's really just a save button. It's submitted it, it's saved it to the software, but it hasn't submitted it to your supervisor. Until you click this box, it doesn't go to them and they do not see it. So if you want to add in your hours as you go through the month, which is an easy way to not become confused, then
how we encourage you
to do it, and we'll all be nagging you about that soon. Then you can hit the submit as you go, and then just before you double check it for the last time, then you click this box and hit submit, and out it will go. So the only tricky part about this is to make sure that you're filling out the correct time card if you have more than one time card. So if you are a math tutor and you weren't working 6 hours as a student, but you're still working as a tutor, what you may find, if you haven't checked already, is you now have 2 time cards. You have a part-time classified card and you have a student time card. And you might have a hard time seeing which one you should fill out for what. So I'll leave that to Rhonda to explain to all of you. The rest of you is probably pretty clear, and that's why you always have a co-coordinator to go to make sure that you're filling out appropriately. Any questions about what you see here? Okay. So today is the 19th. Time cards are due by employees at the end, by the end of the day. So you'll all be submitting for them, and then by the 20th at noon, supervisors have to go through everyone they approve and double check the time and approve them. If you forget to submit it, your time, what will happen is you will need to wait a month to be paid again.
Also that other stuff like shift hours, shift height.
That is all for someone that would be full-time, and maybe I would be taking personal leave or sick time leave, and I would identify it there. So for you guys that are not an employee that's receiving benefits, it's pretty straightforward, just putting in the hours worked. Any other questions? Okay. I think that is it. Okay, we're done.
What if you do accidentally submit it to supervisor too soon? How do you get it back?
If you submit it too soon, you mean you've submitted it and there's an error to it?
Or you checked it, accidentally hit the checkbox on like the 11th, but you were just updating it, and it's like, oh, I wasn't supposed to submit this.
Excellent question. You just have to send an email to your supervisor, let them know, oops, I accidentally clicked that little box, and then they can go in and undo it. Yeah.
Do you have to submit the form with HR every year? Or like I did one last year, so do I need to go do one again?
Oh boy, that is probably a question for HR. You're talking about your I-9 work, or are you talking about, because you would not, as a
Everything stays in place.
right. Yeah. And you'll probably discover that when you go to My Clackamas, you click on your information. You should have a time card still there if you have all the necessary paperwork in. Okay.